Yes, they did.
The ticket booth is in the very front of the park.
Yes, it's towards the front.
There are a lot of people there.
Well, most of the time, that's where everyone comes in.
So it's generally a high traffic area.
Yes.
And at the time that you overheard the conversations, there were, again, a lot of people there, right?
Actually, yeah, I guess.
In addition to those people, you were taking pictures with families at this time, right?
After I heard the conversations, yes, I went and took pictures with the families.
But you went over to the ticket booth specifically to take pictures with families at the ticket booth, right?
Yes.
So those families were over by the ticket booth while the conversations were occurring.
Just the one I was taking pictures with.
And during these conversations, you were in your Rock the World Raptor costume, is that right?
Of course.
And that costume includes a dinosaur head?
Yes, it does.
So this dinosaur head, it covers your entire head, right?
Besides for the giant mesh mouth that goes around that I can see, and, it allows me to hear everything and see everything. So.
Nevertheless, there is mesh over your eyes and ears, right?
Yes, very open mesh, yeah.
So you have to stand a little bit closer to people in order to hear them.
Oh, no, I can hear just fine.
It's very open mesh, right? So people can see your face?
No. It's got a film on top of it, but it's like a two-way mirror. I can see out just fine, but people can't really see in.
But your face is in the mouth, right?
Yes.
So you have to turn your head in order to see people.
No, I have a big open mouth. It goes pretty around. I can just literally use my peripherals like normal.
Okay, Mr. Shelton. So during this conversation, you were in your Rock the World Raptor costume, right?
Yes, I was.
The conversation that you saw on August 30th, you weren't in your Rock the World Raptor costume, right?
No, I was on break.
So you were just dressed as yourself?
Yep.
And you claim that Whit Bowman and Cameron Poole still didn't recognize you?
That's the beauty of being a mascot. Inside the costume, people tend to ignore me, and when I'm outside my costume, no one has any idea what I even look like.
Mr. Shelton, let's just be clear on this. The three of you had worked together for years, hadn't they?
Yeah, but they'd only known me as a mascot. They'd seen me in my costume the whole time.
Now, during this conversation, you were standing in line for one of Whit Bowman's rides, right?
Yes, I was.
So again, there were people all around you.
Yep.
There were people in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
There were people behind you.
Well, yeah, that's what a line is.
And that is when you saw the knife handoff between Mr. Bowman and Mr. Poole.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Shelton, you can't assign a color to this knife, can you?
No.
But you claim that this knife is the same knife you saw Mr. Poole running through the park with the following day, right?
They look to be the same knife, yes.
They look to be the same knife, even though you couldn't tell what color the knife was?
A knife is a knife, yes.
A knife is a knife, but you claim that it's the same knife?
Well, wasn't much time between what had happened. Where else would he have gotten another knife?
Okay, Mr. Shelton. So all of these people that were surrounding you when you overheard these conversations and oversaw this knife handoff, as far as you know, none of those people have come forward to testify about the conversations or about the handoff, right?
No, not that I know of. And as far as I know, everyone around me was they were civilians. They had no legal obligation to.
But as far as you know, no one has come forward to corroborate your story?
No.
Now, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why you're here today. It's your lifelong dream to become a sports mascot, right?
That's the goal.
And you see your job at Rock the World as Donnie the Dinosaur as just one more step on the way to achieving that dream.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance to the witness's aspiration in his career as a mascot.
Your Honor, this goes to bias, specifically if Mr. Shelton would have a motivation to promote himself in his career field, then he would have a motivation to testify in a way that would be good for Mr. Longstreet or Rock the World.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Shelton, you see your job at Rock the World as just one more step on the way to achieving your lifelong dream.
You got to start from the bottom to get where you want to go.
Is that a yes to my question, Mr. Shelton? Now, when you first saw Cameron Poole and Whit Bowman working together at Rock the World, you assumed a scheme was in the works.
Yeah, I did.
And you thought that if you turned in this scheme that you assumed was in the works, that you'd be a hero.
I was hoping that it would make me a hero to especially the kids and families, yeah.
You thought if you turned this into J.C. Longstreet, you'd become a hero.
Oh, that was part of a hope, yes.
But you never got a chance to turn them into J.C. Longstreet.
No, every time I went to go and talk to J.C., there was always someone else in his office.
You never once mentioned the scheme, the wristband scheme, and the knife that you overheard and oversaw. You never once mentioned that to J.C. Longstreet?
Like I said, once I had solid information, I tried to tell him, but I couldn't. Every time I went, he was having another meeting. I'm not one to interrupt meetings.
So you never got the chance to become a juror, did you?
No.
Until today.
Well, I don't know if I would call it that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about right after the robbery. You were interviewed by the police, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to forget being treated like an animal.
They interviewed you, right?
Yeah.
And they asked you questions about the robbery, right?
They asked me questions about Cameron Poole, and they asked me what they wanted to hear about the robbery.
Now let's be clear about what you did and didn't tell the police. You did tell the police that you had worked with Cameron Poole and Whit Bowman before at another amusement park.
Yes.
You did tell the police that you had seen J.C. Longstreet and Hal Floyd arguing on the morning of the robbery.
Yes.
You did tell the police that you had seen J.C. Longstreet and Cameron Poole talking on the day of the robbery.
I can't recall that one.
You don't remember that you told the police that you saw J.C. Longstreet and Cameron Poole talking on the day of the robbery.
I mean, I know I saw them talking, but I don't remember if I told the police or not.
You did tell the police that you saw Cameron Poole hold up the ticket booth, right? Or at least going toward the ticket booth.
I told the police that I saw Cameron running out of the ticket booth with a bag and the knife, yes.
You told the police that you saw Cameron Poole running out of the ticket booth with a shiny object in his hand.
Yes.
You didn't say a knife.
No, I did not.
You didn't say that you saw a knife handoff between Cameron Poole and Whit Bowman the same day.
No, I tried to tell him that, but he wouldn't hear.
You tried to tell the police investigator that you had seen the defendant hand a knife to Cameron Poole the same day of the robbery?
Yes, but I tried to tell him these things, and they just kept shutting me down. Anytime I tried to add on to the questions they asked, they just stopped me immediately, and I couldn't do anything. That's why I had to write it in the affidavit, and it was the only place I could get to be.
Just to be clear, Mr. Shelton, the police investigator cut you off whenever you tried to talk about J.C. Longstreet.
Well, he cut me off whenever I tried to add on anything that
But-
wasn't exactly what he asked.
Wouldn't you agree that he kept asking you about Cameron Poole?
Well, I mean, yeah.
And he kept asking you about Whit Bowman.
And every time I tried to tell him those things, he cut me off. He wasn't even treating me like a person.
So he didn't cut you off when you wanted to talk about working together with the two at an amusement park before?
No,
And he didn't cut you off when you wanted to talk about Cameron Poole running away with a shiny object in his hand?
no, like I said.
But he cut you
just-
off when you wanted to try to talk about a knife?
Like I
the
said,
police
he tried.
investigator-
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stop. Go
I
on
apologize,
with his
sir.
answers. If you ask it,
Yes,
it's
sir.
good to listen to the answer.
Yes, Your Honor, I
That's the
apologize.
same.
But he didn't cut you off when you talked about Cameron Poole running away from the ticket booth with a shiny object in his hand, right?
No, like I said, I was able to answer the questions that he asked me directly, and I wasn't able to add anything else as much as I wanted to.
And it was more direct of you to answer that he had a shiny object in his hand than that he had the same knife you had seen him receive that same day?
I tried to say that, but that's all he would let me say.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, any redirect?
No, Your Honor. I ask that the witness please be allowed to step down and that I be able to retrieve evidence.
Please.
Here you are.